Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, and like the other videos, today we're going to be counting down my top 10 favorite 2016 diecasts. Of course, as I have mentioned in some of my other videos, I have done this with 2014, I recently did this with 2015, and now it is 2016's turn to end off this little mini-series that I decided to do. So of course we had 2014 a few days ago, 2015 a few days ago, and now we're at the very top with 2016. And in my opinion, I'd have to say that 2016 and 2014 were a bit better than 2015. But I think that 2014 might just barely edge out 2016 for the best year. Although, looking at some of the lineup we have right here, I'm kind of regretting that. And there's even a few cars that I had to change out because I was like, oh, I actually like this guy a lot. So, without further ado, I suppose we should start off with number 10. And at number 10, we have Jerome. He was in one of my most recent videos where I talked about how a lot of the 2015 and 2016 cars are now super rare, and he happens to be one of them. Of course, he's like a nice maroonish purple pacer, has some rust, and he has the visor that moves as well. Got the torch, the helium or something, whatever that is. He has a nice expression under the thing. It's kind of hard to see with that big, those big goggles on top. He has the road hug tires, which I'm noticing on a lot of the cars, actually. None that are in this video actually have road hug tires, but in a few of my previous videos, I did notice that a lot of the 2015 cars had the road hug tires. Pretty nice. Big fan of the Pacers. Not the NBA team. I mean, they're okay. I don't really watch basketball. I'm more of a hockey guy. Number 9, we have Jay Schuster, who's also in that 2015-16 Rare Cars video. And he is a very unique model. Sort of like I want to say like Mrs. the King, kind of like squished down into a little like, I don't know, a lot thinner, also elongated. And it's also a slightly different body type. Has a bunch of rust, of course, appearing in the rusty tent. And overall, pretty big fan of this guy. I think this model is pretty underrated. Number 8, the only 2-pack on this video. We have Dan Schlarkenberg and Kim Carlins. Both appearing as the news reporters. We have Kim, who's more of a dark blue color, has more of like a chill expression. And you have Dan rather, who is a light green, and he also has a news thing, because we all know that Dan knows news. The wheels also look really nice. I remember the prototype of him had slightly different wheels. They had more of like, I'm trying to think of a car that would have more like Coracapa wheels. That's just the first car that popped into my mind, but he had similar wheels to her. And of course, Dan was actually canceled in 2010 in the Final Lap collection, and now he got re-released in 2016. And yeah, I'm a big fan of that model, and I'm also a big fan of that color. Number 7, the first of, there's only 2 Super Chases. We have Bud here, a big RV, mostly white, which is something that's not seen in all the other RVs. Our camper's more of like a tan color, but he's like a really bright white, sort of leaning towards like maybe a yellowish. He has a nice expression, although in the movie I don't believe you can actually see it. He has the mirrors, of course, getting kind of bad. The very thick rear tire, very thin front tire. His little antenna, which was actually too big to fit in the packaging, so they had to put it separately. And on the back, of course, you have the character from Bounden, which is kind of appeared in the movie like that. So I think that's the turntable. I think it's a really simple RV, but it's also a really nice diecast. And I made it with duct tape. It was probably one of the worst Super Chases. Not as bad as like Interview Francesco, but there is 4 Super Chases that I have. Only 3 are released. I'm not going to count Outback Miles since he was, canceled. Wasn't actually a part of the main line, although he was scheduled to. Number 6 now, Brad Windmiler. He's got a really nice, bright tan yellow color. He has a green piston cup, which I'm assuming means he's maybe a chick fan. He also has a nice piston cup on top. And this guy appears during that scene where they're kind of panning up towards the screen, and you can see a whole bunch of really unique characters in the stands. And unfortunately, we've only gotten one, and it's Brad. Brad is one of the cooler ones out of those, in my opinion. Although there is probably a few more that I'd rather have than Brad, but Brad, in my opinion, probably one of the best ones they could have gone for instead of just a normal, maybe just another Marty Breakburst with a hat. Number 6, is that number 6 or number 5? So we have, no, this is number 5. Number 5 is Darla Vanderson, also appearing at the Los Angeles 500. She is a nice Cora Copper, kind of a little bit smaller than the Cora Copper model, kind of like a grayish blue, and she has the king crown on top. Of course, see her here at the LA 500, and I also wish we got more cars from this scene right here, where you can see all the other cars. One thing I've noticed about all the 3 cool fan shots during the, in my opinion, the 3 coolest ones. We only got 1 diecast for each of them, and all 3 of those happen to be in this video. Actually, that's not entirely true. We only got 1 actual fan from those. We did get a few other ones, such as Elvis RV or Todd the Pizza Planet truck. Speaking of LA 500, here's another one. Number 4, we have Break Boyd. Now the reason he's so high up, and despite being it's a normal model, is 1, this is the first time we saw this model actually released. 2, his expression looks really nice. It does also match the movie. And number 3, his color, it's like a light periwinkle. It appears dark on the camera, but it just looks so good. And this is actually one from China that I got before he was officially reeled and packaged. So I had this guy for a long time, and I've been liking this guy for a pretty long time. He's a really unique character. Number 3. Okay, yeah, this guy's cool. This is Studsman Girdle. Kind of like a metallic gray, almost like a bob cut this color. He is the Timothy 2-stroke model, except enlarged. I don't know, this is kind of a recurring theme. You'll have another car, the number 1 car on this list is basically Kim Carlin's, except it's a slightly different model. You have not Brad, you had Darla, who is basically a smaller version of Cora Copper. And excuse me, Timothy 2-stroke is basically a smaller version of this guy. He has the large camera. I believe he's the only one to be released with this very large video camera. See there's a little thing to look through, although it doesn't exactly match up with his eyes too well. We have the press logo, pretty sweet star wheels, and also a very, very nice character. Number 2. Oh, this is definitely a nice one. This is Bob Pulley. Now, the big thing about Bob Pulley is he's a light blue color, an electric blue, which is a very unique color for a taxi. He also has the lights on top, the taxi lights, which is another thing that makes him unique. He has the checkered pattern, he has all the stripes, and he has a pattern on the back window. Nice and straight. So many details on this guy, which is why I think he's deserving. I was actually debating him putting at number 1, and I think that the other one might just barely beat him, but kind of looking back on it, I think Bob might be a very close contender for number 1. And speaking of number 1, we have JLo Lee, who's also a super chase this year. You can see here, he also appeared at the LA 500. He's got a nice expression, has the king flag, a piston cup on top, and the expression really sells it, as well as the model. It's basically Kim Carlin's, if you get him over here. It's basically the Kim Carlin's model, except slightly modified, slightly higher up. And if we look at the front, that you can also see there's a difference there, but like the windows are almost exactly the same. The background, you can see that JLo Lee is definitely a thinner model, and you can also see that they share the same license plate, New Coil State. Alright, so that concludes the little mini series I've been doing these past few days. There's the top 3, and yeah, it's been fun doing these, looking back on the years. So with saying that, I hope you guys enjoy your day. If you guys enjoyed the video, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.